First up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a coin that marks the final year of the long-running wheat penny design. In 1958, the United States Mint continued to produce the classic Lincoln cent with the wheat ears on the reverse before switching to the new design later that year. Because these coins were struck in Philadelphia, they do not carry a mint mark beneath the date. This makes the 1958 no mint mark penny a meaningful piece for collectors who appreciate the history of one of America's most familiar coin series. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 and quickly became one of the most widely collected and circulated coins in United States history. It features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date at the bottom. The reverse shows two stylized wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top. This design remained in place for nearly 50 decades, and coins from each year tell a story about the era in which they were made. A 1958 wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty condition has seen many years of circulation and handling. Dirty condition means the coin shows noticeable wear and the surfaces may be darkened or stained from exposure to the elements and contact with other coins. The details on Lincoln's face and coat are worn, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are smooth in many areas. Coins in this state are often found in old collections, boxes, or jars of mixed change, and they reflect real everyday use rather than preservation for collectors. When discussing the dollar value for a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty condition, it is important to understand that condition greatly affects the market value. Because so many of these coins were made and so many survive, even heavily worn and dirty examples are not rare. In today's market, a typical 1958 no mint mark penny in dirty condition usually trades for around 10 cents to 50 cents. Coins with heavier wear, corrosion, or significant surface issues tend to be closer to the lower end of that range, while examples with cleaner surfaces and more visible detail, even if still dirty, may bring slightly more. Collectors and buyers often look for coins that show more detail or have better overall eye appeal, and a dirty coin with indistinct features attracts limited interest beyond its historical significance and date completion value. The 1958 wheat penny remains a collectible piece because it represents the end of a long design era, but the trade value for a worn and dirty example is modest in dollar terms. Many people might encounter 1958 wheat pennies in everyday change or old coin collections and wonder if they are valuable. The reality for a dirty, circulated coin from this year is that its value rarely exceeds its face value by a large margin. Only coins with better condition or special characteristics attract noticeable premiums in the marketplace. Even though the dollar value for a dirty 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is modest, these coins are still significant from a historical perspective. They connect us to a time when coins passed through countless hands and served as part of everyday transactions. For collectors building sets by date, the 1958 penny in any condition is important to complete the series and tell the full story of Lincoln's long presence on the cent. If you enjoy finding old coins and exploring their history, a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny in dirty condition offers a small glimpse into mid-20th century American life and the transition to new coinage designs. While its value in today's market is usually under $1, its place in the long-running Lincoln wheat penny series makes it a worthy piece for many coin enthusiasts. The 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is a unique and interesting coin in the Lincoln cent series because it comes from the World War II era when penny composition briefly changed. In 1944, most cents were struck in bronze, like the traditional Lincoln penny, but there were still some steel cents from this year due to leftover planchets from 1943. The D mint mark indicates that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint, and the steel composition makes it stand out from the usual bronze pennies of the period. A good condition coin means that it has seen circulation and shows noticeable wear, but the key design elements remain recognizable. On a 1944 Lincoln wheat steel penny with a D mint mark in good condition, the portrait of Lincoln is still clear, though the finer details such as hairlines and coat folds are worn. The wheat stalks on the reverse are visible but soft, and the surfaces may show light scratches, discoloration, or spots from circulation use. Even in this condition, the coin has interest because it represents a transitional moment in United States coinage during the war years. In 1943, the mint switched to steel cents to save copper for the war effort. In 1944, the mint began returning to bronze planchet, but some steel blanks were still used, especially at Denver and San Francisco studios. This makes 1944 steel pennies distinct survivors from the transition period. Their values in today's market reflect both their historical context and collector interest. If you have a 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark in good condition, you should know that its value in current dollar terms is modest but notable compared to regular bronze issues of the year. The coin serves as a fascinating piece of history that connects the everyday economic life of the 1940s with a unique change in United States coinage production. Whether you were collecting for history or for value, this coin is a meaningful addition to any Lincoln cent collection, and its presence in your hands tells a story of its journey through decades of use and preservation. Next up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is the final year of the classic wheat penny series. In 1959, the design would change to the Lincoln Memorial reverse, making the 1958 penny the last of its kind. Because of this, the 1958 wheat penny holds a special place in the history of United States coinage. The absence of a mint mark means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as was standard for that time. The overall design remains familiar, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and the two wheat ears on the back framing the denomination and country name. In a normal, dirty, circulated condition, this 1958 penny shows many signs of circulation and age. It may be darkened by years of handling with dirt and surface marks that cover parts of the design. The high points of Lincoln's hair and coat are worn smooth, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are flattened and lack sharp detail. The date and major design elements are still readable, but the overall appearance reflects heavy use over decades. Coins in this condition are common because pennies were everyday coins that passed through countless hands for purchases large and small. The value in today's market for a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in normal, dirty, circulated condition is generally modest because the coin was produced in vast numbers and many survive even after heavy wear. In most cases, these dirty, circulated pennies trade for a small premium over face value simply because they are older coins that collectors enjoy owning. Most of the time, the value falls around 20 to 50 cents in current market terms. A very average, worn, dirty example with no special eye appeal will often sell at the lower end of this range, while a slightly more attractive circulated piece may sell closer to 50 cents. It is important to understand that this value reflects typical market conditions for a common date circulated penny. The 1958 no mint mark wheat penny is not considered rare or difficult to find, especially in worn grades. High prices you may see online often belong to coins in exceptional condition or coins with unusual errors. A normal, dirty, circulated coin does not reach those higher dollar amounts because the supply of such coins remains plentiful. Despite its modest market value, this coin is still significant because it represents the end of the wheat penny era. Collectors often include worn examples like this in date runs or historical collections because they tell a story about everyday life and commerce at the time. Holding a worn 1958 penny connects you with the past and with the millions of people who used similar coins for decades. For new collectors, these normal, dirty, circulated pennies are a great way to learn about condition grading and market value without spending large amounts of money. They serve as accessible examples of key dates and transitions in coin design. Even though the value in dollars is limited, the historical worth and educational value are much greater. If you own a 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in normal, dirty, circulated condition, you can expect its value in today's market to be around 20 to 50 cents. This value reflects the current demand among collectors for common circulated coins and the reality of supply and condition in the market. The true worth of the coin lies in its history and place as the final year of the wheat penny series, rather than in high dollar figures. Next up, the 1953 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is a coin that was produced at the Denver Mint during the early 1950s. This penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Wheat Cent series that started in 1909 and continued until 1958. The D mint mark is located just below the date on the front of the coin and indicates that it was struck in Denver. The design features Abraham Lincoln facing right on the obverse with the words, "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date with the D mint mark at the bottom. The reverse shows two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum at the top. This classic design is instantly recognizable and has been popular with collectors for decades. A coin in dirty condition has been in circulation for many years and shows signs of wear, dirt, and discoloration. On a 1953 D Lincoln wheat penny in dirty condition, the details of Lincoln's hair and coat are worn, and the wheat stalks on the reverse appear flattened and smooth. The coin may also show darkening or staining on the surfaces from handling and age. Despite these signs of wear, the coin remains collectible because it is part of the historic wheat penny series and represents mid-20th century American currency. The value of a 1953 D Lincoln wheat penny in dirty condition is modest in today's market. Because millions of these coins were produced at the Denver Mint and many survive today, common circulated examples do not carry high dollar values. Most 1953 D pennies in dirty or heavily circulated condition are worth slightly above face value. Typical values in dollars range from around 10 cents to 30 cents, depending on the degree of wear and overall appearance. Coins that are heavily corroded or extremely worn may sell for less, while slightly better-looking examples may reach the higher end of this range. It is important to note that a dirty condition coin is not rare or exceptionally valuable. The 1953 D Lincoln wheat penny is common, and its worth comes mainly from its historical significance and its place in complete collections rather than from scarcity. Collectors often use these coins to fill gaps in their date sets or as educational examples for learning about coin grading and the effects of circulation on value. Even though the monetary value of a dirty 1953 D penny is low, it carries historical importance. It circulated during a period of post-war growth in the United States and was used by everyday Americans in daily transactions. Holding one of these pennies today provides a connection to the past and allows collectors to appreciate the role of small coins in American history. If you have a 1953 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark in dirty condition, you can expect its value in today's market to be modest, typically under $1. Its true value lies in its history, its design, and its place in the long story of Lincoln wheat pennies. Even in worn and dirty condition, it is a collectible piece that represents a small but meaningful part of mid-20th century America. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is a coin that many collectors and everyday people recognize because it represents a later example in the long-running Lincoln wheat penny series. In 1956, the Denver Mint produced pennies that carried the small letter D below the date, and these coins were made of copper, just like most other Lincoln cents of that time. However, there are also unusual coins from that year made of steel or with errors that draw extra attention from collectors and can be worth more than their face value. The standard 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is copper, and in circulated condition, most coins show wear from many years of use. A circulated coin means it was used in everyday commerce, and the high points of the design show smoothing and loss of fine detail. On a circulated 1956 D mint mark penny, Lincoln's hair and coat details are worn, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are smooth. These signs of wear come from decades of handling and are common for coins that spent time in pockets, cash registers, and coin rolls. When we talk about value in today's market in dollars for a 1956 D wheat penny in circulated condition, we are referring to what collectors are willing to pay for a coin that has been used but still remains a collectible piece of history. Most circulated 1956 D Lincoln wheat pennies trade for amounts slightly above face value because there are so many of them available. Typical circulation ware examples generally have a value of about 15 cents to 50 cents, depending on how worn the coin is and how attractive it looks to a buyer. There are exceptions when a specific coin might be worth more. Some 1956 coins are found with unusual surface issues or errors that make them stand out from normal examples. These error coins can bring higher prices because collectors seek out unique pieces. But for a regular 1956 D Lincoln wheat penny in standard circulated condition, the realistic dollar value remains modest and reflects collector demand for everyday coins rather than rare treasures. Collectors enjoy coins like the 1956 D penny because they are part of the story of everyday American currency. That year was near the end of the wheat penny era, and collectors building sets often look for each date and mint mark to complete their collection. A circulated condition coin may not be worth a large amount in dollar terms, but it fills an important place in a complete set and shows the natural wear of a coin that's circulated for many years. It is also worth noting that prices seen in online listings do not always reflect what a coin will actually sell for, because sellers sometimes list coins at high dollar amounts, hoping for a collector's interest. Actual sale prices for a typical circulated 1956 D penny are based on what buyers and sellers agree upon in the market and tend to stay within the modest range mentioned earlier. If you are new to coin collecting, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny in circulated condition offers a great example of how condition affects value. More wear means lower dollar value, and less wear means a bit more, but most circulated examples remain affordable and common. This makes them excellent coins for teaching the basics of coin grading and market pricing. So, if you have a 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark in circulated condition, you should understand that its value in today's market in dollars is generally under $1, but still of interest to collectors who appreciate the long history of the Lincoln wheat penny series. Next up, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is a coin that many collectors look for when completing their Lincoln cent collections. This penny was produced by the Denver Mint and carries the small d under the date to indicate its origin. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 and continued through 1958, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and two wheat ears surrounding 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top. The design is simple but elegant and reflects a classic period in American coin history. When we describe a coin in normal black color shade condition, it means that the coin has circulated and has developed a natural dark patina from age and handling. This type of coloring is typical for many older pennies that have been in everyday use and have not been cleaned or artificially altered. In this condition, the coin retains all its details, but shows uniform dark surfaces with moderate wear, especially on Lincoln's hair and coat and on the wheat stalks on the reverse. In today's market, the value of a 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny in normal black color shade condition is modest. Because millions of these coins were struck, they're considered common, and most examples in circulated condition sell for slightly above face value. Typical dollar values for this coin in this condition generally range from 10 cents to around 50 cents, depending on the overall eye appeal and how evenly the surfaces have aged. It's important for collectors to understand that the value of a Lincoln wheat penny is highly dependent on condition. Coins in heavily worn or very dark condition without attractive surfaces are worth less than coins with better eye appeal. While the 1952 D penny is not rare, it remains collectible because of its age, place in the Lincoln cent series, and the fact that it comes from the Denver Mint, which adds variety to a collector's set. This coin is also significant because it circulated during the early 1950s, a period of post-war growth in the United States. Millions of people used pennies like this one for everyday purchases, and it's fascinating to think that these coins passed through so many hands. Collectors appreciate holding a piece of history that was part of the daily lives of Americans during that era. For new collectors, the 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny in normal black color shade condition is an excellent coin to start with. It's affordable, widely available, and helps teach the importance of condition and grading in numismatics. Even though the dollar value is low, the historical significance and the enjoyment of adding it to a collection make it a valuable piece for any coin enthusiast. If you own a 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Penny in normal black color shade condition, you can expect its value in today's market to be modest, generally under $1. But its true worth lies in its history, design, and role in the classic Lincoln Wheat Penny series. It remains a piece of everyday American history and a collectible coin that continues to be appreciated by coin collectors of all levels. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you next time. Happy collecting. Next up, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny with an S mint mark is a coin that stands out because of the unique circumstances surrounding its production. During World War II, the United States Mint switched from using copper to zinc-coated steel for the cent in 1943, so copper could be conserved for the war effort. By 1944, most pennies had returned to their normal bronze composition, but a small number of steel blanks from 1943 were mistakenly struck at the San Francisco Mint in 1944. These 1944 steel pennies with the S mint mark are considered oddities because they were not part of the regular production plan, and most cents in that year were made of bronze. The steel composition gives this coin a silver-gray color and magnetic properties that set it apart from typical Lincoln Wheat pennies. On the front of the 1944 penny, you will see Abraham Lincoln's profile with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1944 at the bottom with a small S below the date, indicating it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. The reverse features two wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum at the top. These design elements are the familiar Lincoln Wheat Penny style that collectors recognize and seek to complete in their sets. When we describe a coin as being in good condition, we mean it has significant wear from circulation. On a 1944 S steel penny in good condition, the major details are worn and flat, but the date and mint mark are still readable. Lincoln's portrait shows worn features, and the reverse wheat stalks are smooth from years of use. Despite this wear, the coin remains identifiable and collectible because of its unusual steel composition and the story behind its production. The value in dollars for a 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny with an S mint mark in good condition today reflects the interest among collectors in this anomaly. Because these steel strikes from 1944 are unusual, they can attract more attention than a standard bronze penny from the same year. In the current market, a 1944 S steel penny in good condition typically sold in the range of a few dollars. Most examples in this grade trade for around $5 to $10, depending on how clear the date and mint mark appear and how even the surfaces look. Prices can vary based on demand and the specifics of each coin. A coin with cleaner surfaces and a more complete appearance within the good grade may sell for slightly more than average, while heavily damaged examples may sell for less. Because the steel cents are magnetic and can rust, it is also important for collectors to consider surface quality when evaluating value. Even though a good condition coin shows wear, the overall presentation still matters. Collectors place value on the 1944 S steel penny because it represents a mistake or anomaly in United States coinage production. It's not a regular issue, but a curious variety that many Lincoln cent collectors want in their sets. For this reason, even worn examples in good condition bring interest and modest prices in dollars compared to ordinary pennies of the era. If you own a 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny with an S mint mark in good condition, you have a piece of numismatic history that reflects an unusual moment in the story of American coinage. Its value in today's market is higher than face value and generally falls in the low dollar range because collectors enjoy owning this distinct type of coin and the conversation it inspires about production quirks and historical context in the Lincoln Wheat Penny series. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny without a mint mark is a coin that many people find in change, collections, old jars, and drawers at home. This coin was produced by the Philadelphia Mint in 1956, and because Philadelphia did not use a mint mark at that time, the coin simply shows the date without any letter. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and the two wheat ears on the back, and continued through 1958. This long-running design makes the series very popular with collectors of all levels. The 1956 penny is made of the traditional bronze composition that had been used for Lincoln cents for decades. The front of the coin shows Lincoln facing to the right with the words, "In God We Trust" above his head, Liberty to the left, and the date at the bottom. On the reverse, two wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum at the top. Even though the design is familiar to many people, the value of the coin depends on several factors, including condition and eye appeal. When we talk about dirty condition, we mean a coin that has been in circulation for many years and shows surface darkening, dirt deposits, and rough areas from use. A dirty 1956 wheat penny may have lost some of its original luster, and the details may appear worn or flat. On these coins, Lincoln's hair and coat details will be smooth, and the wheat ears on the back will show minimal texture. Despite this worn appearance, the coin still holds interest because it is part of an iconic series that spans nearly half a century. In today's market, the value of a 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny without a mint mark in dirty condition is generally modest. Most of these coins trade for close to their face value and only a small premium above 1 cent. Typical values in dollars for a dirty circulated example are usually about 10 cents to 30 cents depending on how worn and how dirty the surfaces appear. Coins that are very rough, heavily stained, or corroded may sell for even less and rarely attract strong collector interest. It is important to understand that a dirty condition coin is not the same as a rare or valuable coin. Some people see old coins and assume that their age makes them valuable, but condition plays a major role in determining worth. A penny from 1956, even though it is old and collectible in better grades, is common in worn and dirty condition. Because millions were made and many still survive, these everyday examples do not command high dollar prices. This coin still has historical significance because it circulated during the post-war era when everyday Americans used pennies to buy groceries and other daily items. Holding a 1956 wheat penny connects us with that time in history, even if the coin shows wear and dirt from years of use. Collectors often include these coins in complete date runs or as teaching pieces to help new collectors understand how condition affects value. If you have a 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny without a mint mark in dirty condition, you can expect its value in today's market to be low in dollar terms, but its true worth comes from its place in the long story of American coinage. It may not be a high-value collectible, but it represents a piece of everyday history that circulated through countless hands and remains a fun item for anyone interested in coins. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you in next time. Happy collecting! Next up, the 1951 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is a classic piece of American numismatic history. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint in 1951 and carries the small letter D under the date to show its origin. The Lincoln wheat penny design was introduced in 1909 and continued until 1958, making it one of the longest-running and most beloved designs in United States coinage. The front of the coin shows Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right with the words, "In God We Trust" above his head, Liberty to the left, and the date and mint mark at the bottom. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top. This familiar design has been collected by generations of coin enthusiasts. A 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny with black color shade in circulated condition is common in most grades, but specific conditions can affect its value. When collectors refer to a black color shade condition, they mean the surface of the coin has toned over time to a dark or nearly black appearance. This change in color often comes from long exposure to the environment and oxidation of the bronze metal. Black toning does not necessarily hurt the detail on the coin, and in some cases, collectors find the dark surfaces attractive because they contrast the design and give the coin a distinctive look. On a 1951 D penny, this black shade condition can vary from lightly darkened surfaces to deeper, rich toning that covers most of the coin's face and reverse. Condition is the most important factor in determining value. A coin that shows signs of wear and circulation but still retains clear major details would be considered circulated. If the fields and devices still show good definition and the wear is not severe, the coin might fall into a condition category such as fine or very fine. When black toning is present, the eye appeal of the coin becomes an additional consideration for buyers and sellers. A well-toned example that still shows sharp details can attract interest from collectors who appreciate unusual surfaces. In today's market, the value in dollars for a 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny with black color shade in circulated condition is usually modest. Because millions of these coins were struck, most circulated examples do not command high premiums. Typical market values for such coins range from about 20 cents to a few dollars, depending on the strength of detail and overall appearance. Coins that retain strong design elements and attractive toning tend to sell on the higher end of this range, while heavily worn and unattractive examples sell on the lower end. Black-toned coins may draw more attention than plain worn pennies, but the value still reflects the common nature of this date and mint combination. Collectors enjoy the 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny for its place in the long-running series and its connection to everyday American life in the early 1950s. These pennies were used in transactions for groceries, newspapers, and all kinds of small purchases. Over decades, many were lost, damaged, or collected, and today they remain a gateway for new collectors learning about coin grading and condition. Understanding that the dollar value of a common date circulating coin like this one will not reach very high figures is important for anyone entering the hobby. Rare error varieties or coins in uncirculated condition can achieve higher prices, but a typical circulated 1951 D penny with black toning is valued for its history and collectible appeal rather than extraordinary market price. If you have a 1951 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark in black color shade condition, you should know that its value in today's market reflects both its circulated condition and its visual interest. While it may not be a high dollar coin, it's a meaningful part of the Lincoln wheat penny story and a piece of American numismatic heritage that continues to be enjoyed by collectors around the world.